Hey, Sonia, I'm going to head into the Northeast Division Residential Advanced Sales Training. I think I hear something going on in there.
Customers each and every time, every proposal, every day. This is my iPad, Eddie's!
Hey, Tim, what is going on here?
Just get the troops ready, Ed.
Absolutely, that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. So I appreciate the invite. I got one question. Who has the best hands in the joint? How about you? All right, we're good. We're good there. We're good. So we just watched Victor's little clip, right, talking about creating urgency and talking about all that Mount Nut, right? Why people don't buy. So I thought what we might do today is we would reverse engineer that, right? We'd say, okay, so if we know that's why they don't buy, how do we get them to buy, right? So let's talk a little bit about that. So let's talk about that customer that, you know, they have the money, or you think they're going to qualify for REC, or maybe they already qualified for REC. They already gave you the time. You've uncovered some sort of need. You know, they need gutter guards, they need attic insulation, all these kind of things that happen. You know, they trust you. You know, they've been a reinspection customer, they've been a termite customer for 4 or 5 years, they've been a pest control customer for 3 years, so they trust and believe in Orkin. So it's none of those things getting in your way. But what's getting in your way, maybe that they didn't buy, is that maybe you haven't built the urgency. So let's talk a little bit about that, because I think we all have proposals out there that the customer says these dreaded words to you, right? Ed, you did a really good job of explaining everything, the solution and everything that we need. So they acknowledge the need. They said I did a great job. They trust me. It makes sense. So they're buying in, but we're just not ready to move forward now. Call me after the holidays. We got a lot going on. You know, the dreaded stall that the customers give you. So what do we do about that, right? In this situation, you've probably clicked through most of all the Mount Nut stuff, right? The one that's missing here is urgency. So how do we talk about urgency? Really, and particularly this time of year, we're not dealing with the lead. You know, we're not dealing with that termite lead where the termites are swarming out of the windowsill and they're going to buy from somebody, because that urgency is already there. You don't have to create it. You got to do nothing about it. They're going to buy from you, or they're going to buy from somebody. Let's talk about the 80% of what we're pitching this time of year is creative stuff, right? You're going out, you're drumming it up, PC, no TC, re-inspections. You know, if you don't create urgency in most of those sales situations, it's going to equate to no action by the customer, which is a bad thing for us, because that means no action, no commissions for us. You know, out of most all these proposals and all the time I've been doing this, I think I've come to the conclusion, I've kind of gut checked it with a bunch of our sales managers, is, you know, 80% of what we pitch this time of year is creative. You know, 60 to 80% of those proposals, they never buy from anybody. They never take any action, right? So again, you create some urgency, I promise you, you're going to make more sales. You got to be careful though. You can't get into a situation where it comes off fake or phony. Last thing you want to do is create urgency that doesn't make any logical sense for the customer, because what happens then? You kind of look foolish. You look like that salesman you never want to look like, right? Amateur attempts to build urgency are really, really crappy. I mean, I use the example of the driveway sealer. You know, when the guy knocks on your door and he says, hey, I got 50 gallons left over from the driveway I just finished up sealing. I can get you a heck of a job because I can't take the stuff. It's going to go back. That sounds way too salesy for me. It's not practiced. It's not professional. It's hokey. It's way too salesy, right? What we want you to do is we want you to practice being professionals at creating urgency. Make some sense? So let's talk a little bit about our consumers, right? Consumers are conditioned to buy today. And think about all the ones that we have up here, right? We got the Black Friday sales. We got President's Day sales. We got back to school sales. We got all these closeouts. We got the moving sales. You know, every time I see a moving sale, I think about the furniture around the corner from the furniture store around the corner from my house. They've been going out of business for 12 years, you know, but they're still there, right? So we're conditioned as consumers to buy. Take it even further. Think about what's going on this time of year in the car industry. People are offering 0 down, no payments, 72 months, no payments, 0 interest. All conditioning consumers to buy today, right? Take it even a little bit farther. The offer expires on an X date, right? And then my favorite, right, Kohls. We are so conditioned to buy from Kohls in my house that it drives me crazy. My wife peels that sticker off that flyer that comes in the mail every Sunday or once a week, and if she pulls a 30% discount off of there, I know we're headed to Kohls. True story. Last weekend, She told me, she said, hey, I have $20 in Kohls cash that expires tomorrow. I knew when she said that we were going to Kohls. We didn't spend $20. We spent $90, right? So we're conditioned as consumers to buy today and think about the best marketer, the best sales folks in the world, the best company for selling in the world, Amazon, right? You think about Amazon's one-click ordering. What is one-click ordering? They store a credit card on file. And all you have to do is pick out the item that you like, click one, boom, it's shipped, it's paid for, it's sold, it's closed, it's on its way to your house the next day if you're a Prime member. In Atlanta here, if I order it this morning, it's at my house in the afternoon. So why do they do that? Why do they store the credit card? They are so fearful of buyer's remorse or you changing your mind if you left your wallet on your dresser in your bedroom upstairs that by the time you walk up there and walk back down, you may have changed your mind. So we're conditioned all along to buy, right? We're conditioned as consumers. The one thing I would caution you with when you're trying to condition your consumer is just this, right? Never pressure people to push them to a decision, into purchasing, right? What you want to do is you want to pressure them into not procrastinating. That's what hangs you up in most all of these situations. I think about myself. I sold a whole bunch of insulation before I ever bought an insulation job for my house. It took 12 years for me to buy insulation that I knew for 12 years that I needed it because I tended to procrastinate, right? And I did because nobody pushed me. Nobody created urgency for me to buy, right? So think about that. So let's get into the nuts and bolts of how do we, as Orkin salespeople, create urgency. I would suggest you have to do it sooner rather than later. If you wait till the end of the proposal and the customer says, hey, we want to think about this or we're going to put this off for a while, it may be too late. So try to build some urgency early in your presentation, early in your conversation, early in your walkarounds with the customer by simply saying something like this. There's really no time like the present. The best thing about me being here today, very early on in the proposal is, and try any one of these three, I'm going to give you 3 or 4 examples, but make your own up, create your own. When the weather turns, our crews will be so busy pushing insulation and installing insulation that I won't be able to offer you the discount I can afford you today when we finally sit down and talk about the numbers. Or our calendar is filling up quickly. You'll want to get this done sooner rather than later to take advantage of the savings that you can get here or to stop the damage that's going on, right? Or to not have to suck the leaves out of your gutters, right? So now is when you want to act. Pin the price to some sort of expiration date. These rates are only good if we're able to complete the work by the end of October, by the end of November, right? Pin it down so that there's urgency, that they have to buy today because they're going to save some money, right? When I left the office, here's a good one, right? When I left the office this morning, my boss told me we had a job that postponed on Friday because the ground's too wet with all the rain and weather we've been having or all the snow. We can't do that termite work. So we've got an opening, and the boss doesn't want our 2 termite technicians to stay at home and not get paid because they got to earn a living for their family. So he's allowed me to offer you an additional 10% over what I could already offer you. So you want to make sure that these sound logical and professional, right? You don't want them sounding hokey. So think about your own. And then maybe one of the best ones that I always have liked to use is to sit with the customer and say, Mr. Customer, you really need this, you really want it. Why don't I do this? I've given you the best number I can give you. What I want to do now is I want to go back to my boss. You've been a customer for 4 or 5 years. What I want to do is I want to go back to my boss. Maybe I can even call him on the phone right now and tell him kind of the predicament that we're in and maybe get you an additional savings off this job price. Does that make some sense? Would you like me to go to bat for you with the boss? Because I'm willing to do that, okay? And then use a coupon. We've got some regions and divisions that have created their own coupons. I would encourage you to do that. At the end of the day, when we get right down to this, if we fail to create urgency in creative proposals, we will get no sale. And again, we will have no commission. So I encourage you to do everything you can in your process, in your thought process, how you buy, how customers buy. Think about how you can do a better job every day creating urgency where none exists. So we good? I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate the time. Thanks, Tim and Sonia, and we'll see you the next time. Good luck. Good selling.